Hello there, Kangaroos! Welcome back to Yakuza Kiwami and entry 18 in Ryu's gaming diary. Let's take a look at the game's next chapter, Chapter 5, Purgatory. Now that sounds like a romp. I start by rejoining my friends at Serena, where else, as Kiryu receives a phone call.
Serena です。兄貴ですか? Shinji ka.
I learned that Kazuma survived the attempt on his life and is now hiding, since his attacker has to be someone in the Tojo clan. Well, no shit. I still wonder who that could be. But for now, I have to find out more about the stolen 10 million yen and what's going on with Yumi and Mizuki. To do so, I have to find Kamurocho's legendary informant, the so-called Florist of Sai. That lets me know that he is hanging out in Purgatory, also known as West Park. It turns out that Purgatory is heavily guarded by homeless people. But that's not a problem, as my arrival is already anticipated.
ご案内します、桐生さん。
もう身元が追われたのか。サイの河原だぜ、ここは。
I'm led to a subway station, which turns out to not be a subway station at all. I gotta say, this place has its charm. I get to meet the Florist of Sai, bathrobe aficionado and head of an underground information network run by hobos. He is willing to tell me more about the stolen 10 billion yen and Yumi and her sister if I jump through some hoops. I just have to enter his underground fighting arena and win 3 consecutive fights. I don't know about you, but this sounds really familiar. I defeat the first 2 faceless opponents and run into my big friend from earlier again.
奇遇ですね、桐生さん。即死と副上司、お好みは？
その日本語、意味分かって使ってんのか?
He's no match for me, of course. Holding up my end of the deal, the florist confirms that Yumi and her sister stole the Tojo clan's money. But something comes up, and he invites me into his Batcave.
見に行くぞ。足元注意しろ。
何? Koitsu.
驚いていいぜ。ここがサイの河原の本当の姿だ。
Turns out that Haruka has been kidnapped by some baddies, and that Date has some trouble with the homeless residents in Purgatory. I do of course step in to save him.
俺はな、昔こいつにパクられたんだ。もう十分だろ。まだだ。
You probably guessed how that turns out. I learned that the florist is a former policeman who has been busted for corruption by Date. He doesn't seem to hold a grudge though, as he tells us that Haruka was taken to the batting cages. But who took her?
はるかさらったのは真島組の奴らだ。
真島組? よりによって真島の兄さんか。
Oh, great. I hurry to the batting cages to save Haruka, and of course, run into Majima again. He's just as kooky as always.
キルちゃんならわかるやろなあ。笑いどころやないか。笑いや、これボケ。やめろ。ああ？
はるかを返せ。
なあ、もうこれ以上じらすなや、キルちゃん。
行くで。勝負や。
I slap the shit out of him, and the confrontation takes an unexpected turn.
死ねや、キル！親父、なんで？キルちゃんはな、俺のMね、この
I do hope he gets well soon though.
Haruka.
Oh right, I'm actually here to save Haruka. I take the little girl back to Serena, where else, and she tells me about a stranger showing up during her captivity, telling her to tell me about her pendant again.
大事に持ってなさいって、これには100億の価値があるんだよって。
Not really much happened so far, so let's take a look at what Chapter 6, Father and Child, has in store for us. While Haruka is sleeping off the traumatic events of her kidnapping, I decide to hit the streets to find new leads on Yumi and Mizuki. As luck will have it, I am approached by Mogusa, one of the homeless guys working for the florist of Sai. He asks me to drop by the florist as he is having some family trouble. I surprise the florist in his Batcave as he is stalking his estranged son.
趣味のいいガキだ。
まあ、悪かね。どこぞの組長の結びでなければな。
I do decide to find out what's going on. On my way there, I bump into Tamura. I somehow doubt the two are going to be important later, so let's move on. Thanks, I haven't forgotten about that. Apparently, he just faked his death, and I still don't care about it. So let's head to the betting center to meet the florist's son, Takashi. He mistakes me for a Yakuza working for his girlfriend Kyoka's father. Time to knock some sense into him. But wait, that's not all. Takashi's gang, the B-Kings, show up to get a good old fisting too. Oh, my rampage doesn't stop there, as I now have to head to Club Deborah to save Takashi from the Yakuza. Club Deborah. That name sounds familiar. Ah, right, that place. I crash the party there and take on the bad guys. Don't worry, things turn out well in the end. And I am rewarded with a nice knife and access to the underground casino. I'm not a big fan of gambling though. Not a single step closer to finding Yumi or Mizuki, I decide to head back to Serena just to find Dante blackout drunk. Apparently, he was supposed to meet his daughter Saya. Sounds like a charmer, so I decide to meet with her instead. Who knows, could be fun. As I arrive at the nearby public park, I'm approached by two high school girls making a tempting offer.
Nice.
Keeping their age in mind, I decline their offer, and it turns out that one of them is Saya. What a coinkydink. Kiryu gives the girls a good scolding, and Saya takes off. I do find her again hanging out at Stardust, and after Date shows up, I learn that Saya is having debt problems thanks to her host friend Shota. I have to hand it to Kiryu, he has the uncanny ability of showing up just at the right moment. Confronting Saya's creditor, it turns out that her host friend is in cahoots with them. Together with Date, I introduce them to my fists. Well, that takes care of Saya's debt, and she and her father make up. All he had to do was to slap the shit out of her. That's some top-notch parenting right there. Chapter 6, and this entry, ends with a chat between Date and his superior, ordering him to drop his investigation into Zera's murder. Talk about suspicious behavior. Unbeknownst to Date and Kiryu, it also turns out that someone filed a missing persons report for Haruka. Now this is getting interesting.